James Fields, do you have any thoughts on him?
James Fields is a scared kid who got attacked by communist terrorists. And look, here's all you need to know about that boy's trial. Even if you believe every other nasty, terrible lie that they told about him, you look at that video, and after the wreck, they jumped on his car and started bashing his windows out with clubs. And 2 people pulled guns on him at the scene of that thing. So he drove away as fast as he could. And as soon as the police got onto him, he pulled over and surrendered. And then they convicted him of leaving the scene of an accident. Well, what the jury in Charlottesville is essentially saying is you have no right to leave when people are trying to kill you. That should be all that you need to know about the fairness of that trial. You know, guys looked at the video, figured out how fast he was going. He wasn't flying down there trying to mow these people down. He had his home address in his GPS. He's trying to get home. And it was absolute mayhem out there. Those people had communist flags. They had weapons. You know, that was not some innocent fucking peace activist out there. So, you know, James is a scared kid who's, you know, looking at spending the rest of his life in prison, possibly getting a needle. And that's a terrible, terrible tragedy for our country.
It seems like his defense attorneys didn't really have any interest in defending him. It seems like they just threw his trial.
I don't know how true that is. I mean, you know, a defense attorney's job is to, make sure that there's reasonable doubt. Okay. And I know that other people had critiques about this and they might be very valid. I didn't get to see the trial, but I think that it would be reasonable to believe that Fields' attorney simply saw this as a case where they just couldn't prove their case, right? Like, for example, I know that she moved to strike some of the charges after the prosecution had presented their case, right? Says, I moved to strike. They haven't proven premeditated murder. And the judge says, well, I don't know any other reason why he would have done this. Well, judge, if you don't know any reason he would have done it, that's the reason that you throw it out, right? They haven't proven that he planned to kill this chick, and therefore they haven't proven premeditated murder. That's the whole entire point of striking the case. But the judge didn't care, right? The whole entire point of this thing is that the city's in on it. The city government is corrupt. So I'm not surprised that it didn't go well. And, you know, for Fields' attorney to try to make a bigger deal out of it, you could make the case that she risked pissing off the jurors by doing that. All she had to do is raise reasonable doubt. I think it's reasonable to think that she believed that she had done that, and that's why she didn't press as hard. But maybe she's in it too. I mean, in my understanding, she's a Democrat from Charlottesville. I mean, I wouldn't want to have her representing me.
Right. And do you have thoughts on any of the other Charlottesville defendants?
All of those guys are really, all of those guys were good people. Okay. I was locked up with Alex Ramos and James and very briefly with James Fields. I wasn't on the same, I didn't get to communicate with him much, but Alex Ramos, Daniel Borden, Jacob Goodwin, Richard Preston. I was locked up with all those guys, and they were swell guys who don't deserve any of the things that happened to them. They tried to save their country from communism. They were attacked by terrorists, and they did what was necessary. And the fact that all of them are on their way to prison really bothers me every single day, because I was locked up with those guys, and they don't deserve it.
How were you treated in prison?
Well, to clarify, we were all in jail together, not prison. Prison is the state facility where you go after you're convicted. But in the jail, so far as the jail goes, the jail did not mistreat us any more than they would mistreat any other prisoner. I mean, I was in solitary confinement for over a month. That was not a good time. I was not a particular fan of the cuisine there, but the guards didn't abuse us or anything like that. They kept us safe and stuff.